Hey, what's up everybody? This is MGTOW Gamer coming back with another build video for the Melee Magicka Nightblade, running dual wield Destro on the back bar. This is a Melee Magicka Nightblade. I know a lot of people are looking for a very viable bursty Magicka Nightblade. People feel that it's dead. I've seen some other videos of some very tanky dual wield CP related builds. This is a bursty no CP build. We're not utilizing any proc sets. I don't wear proc sets. I find that proc sets are broken and should be removed. At the very least from no CP BGs, so that we can have, at the very least, let Battlegrounds be competitive, or at least let us have the option for it to be competitive. And in my opinion, when it comes to balancing the classes in terms of damage mitigation, survivability, etc., you really can't start balancing until you remove proc sets altogether. Most Magicka light blades run Colorians. Colorians is far too much burst for a proc set. I don't run it. Most people think you need to. You don't. So here's my build. I'm running the Nord. I picked the Nord a few months back because I only play Battlegrounds, and I know a lot of people complain about the Wardens dropping Ice Path and people backbarring Ice Path for the slow and for the root, which is why I went Nord for the passive, right? From the Frost Resist, you gain immunity to chilled, and it's the chill effect that causes the root from the Ice Path. And that's because when you drop the Ice Path, it says here under weapons, Destro for, where is it? Here we go. That's the block passive. Where's the ice one? That's the blocking cost. I know is the one where like it's the different morph of periods. It says blocking of frost reduces movement speed and immobilizes chilled enemies. So that's where that root comes from, is when you get chilled. And of course it procs with a charged weapon. You know, there's a lot of frost abilities that Warden utilizes, or at least the Frost Warden, and it can you're basically chilled the whole time. The other thing that chilled does is it reduces your damage by 15%. It's minor maim, and so we don't get either one of those status effects from chilled. It's really good in this build because, as you can see here, I'm not running a shield and I don't have a burst heal. We're running a light armor. Right, I said Nord. We're utilizing Steed both for the movement speed, the health recovery. We're in Cyrodiil, so we gain the extra 5k to our HP. We're all into Magicka. I'm running one Engine Garden for the health recovery. I'm running Invigorating. I don't utilize any critical resist. I know a lot of people think you need to. I don't. Feel free to take a look at all the gameplay. You can check out all of my long streams. I don't take my streams down, so if you want to look back and see over the course of hours, I usually stream for 4 to 5 hours, and you can see what kind of damage I'm taking, what kind of survivability I have. I did release clips showing in the kind of burst. I'll link that either in the description or you'll see it up top. So yeah, we're running one Kina Invigorating. I think on live I'm running two Divines. I'm running a heavy chest. It should be reinforced. You gain 1% roughly more mitigation, or you can run another Invigorating. It works either way. I just don't spend all of my time in club. I do spend a lot of my time fighting outside of club, and so I like to have a heavy reinforced. It gives me a decent amount of physical and spell resistance that I feel comfortable with. So like I said, we are utilizing Invigorating, and the Invigorating gives you 11 to your max Magicka stamina and your recovery, and I will go into why. Right, so the other one, and we're running Willows, gives us recovery to all of our both health, Magicka, and stamina. And then we're also running Amber Plasm for the crit, max Magicka, max spell damage, and then we get that 240 again to our Magicka and our stamina. We're running 3 spell damage. I particularly gold out all of my gear. It's not that difficult in game. Maybe on console it's a little harder, so you'll lose a little bit of recovery. It's not that important, but on PC, it's real cheap to gold out your gear and you can farm it. It's not that big of a deal. I am running dual wield swords. I'm running my berserker glyph on my main hand, and it's because the berserker glyph is particularly used for burst damage, for sustained damage when you run it on your back bar with an infused. You run it on your back bar infused when you want to sustain damage. On your front bar, you run it for burst damage. So when we come out of cloak and we hit with a heavy attack, it procs both, right? Because dual wielding heavy attacks proc both glyphs as long as the glyphs don't have the same cooldown. And so we're utilizing an infused on our offhand with a fire glyph, and that's for the burst damage as well as the ability to put a dot on your opponent. It will start the burning debuff, the burning dot, which does a little bit of damage as well. We're running Nirnhoned Destro staff on the back bar, and that's because the fire staff gives you 8% more to damage to your single target, and of course Nirnhoned because over infused because we want the extra spell damage, and that's because Swallow Soul on our back bar is basically going to be your heal, and you'll see that's a tooltip with Swallow Soul on our back bar. We've got roughly almost 3,200 spell damage on our back bar, and that's because this is a single target, single target, single target, single target, and so we gain the 8% bonus as well as, of course, running a Nirnhoned for the extra damage. I'm using Blockade because I have my flame glyph on the back bar. You could use something else if you feel not comfortable not utilizing a heal really or a shield. You can use the Magicka glyph. You can use the Magicka glyph on your back bar, and that one will do magic damage and will give you health. If you find that you need a little more stamina recovery, then you use this one. The reason being is this glyph has a 4-second cooldown, right? So every 4 seconds you'll do the damage as well as gain back at the stamina, or if you want the HP, so then it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about controlling who the glyph procs on. You'll always have that little bit of health recovery going off, and that'll be like 450 every 4 seconds. It's not that great, but I prefer that. And then you can keep the flame on your back bar, and then maybe on your front bar go with an infused lightning, and then for a chance to proc, what is it, the minor damage, I forget what it's called, concussion, that does 8% more damage. So whatever you feel comfortable with running in terms of your glyph, that's up to you. I'm utilizing Swallow Soul, Blockade, of course Cripple for the dot, as well as the Major Expedition. The reason being, we gain 10% from running Steed. If you go 2 pieces of Divines, it turns into 11%, and then we get 25% when we're cloaked, and then of course another 30% from Major Expedition. So when I start my encounters, I start it on the front bar. I utilize Swallow Soul as a buff, like a heal over time, and then of course when I want to engage, so I kind of light attack Swallow Soul, light attack Cripple, and then make sure my buffs are up, and then switch over and then go into cloak, and I have so much movement speed that I don't need a gap closer. Our main spammable is concealed, and then of course we have impale to secure kills on low HP targets. We're also utilizing siphoning, both for the little bit of heal that I'll give you. You'll gain double the bonus when you heavy attack from stealth, which we utilize a lot, and of course merciless for the 8% from minor berserk, as well as using spectral bow. We have Inner Light for the Major Prophecy, as well as 7% more max magicka. It's really not worth casting if you're fighting another Nightblade, because the 6%, the 6 meters is ridiculously small. For the 4k magicka you're going to waste casting it, I don't recommend casting it at all. Just use Blockade. You're more than likely to pull somebody out with Blockade, because Blockade is an 18 by 12 for only 3k, whereas this is almost 4,100 and it's only 6 meters in radius. It's not worth the casting. Of course, our front bar is Soul Harvest for the damage. We gain 20% more damage for 6 seconds, as well as reducing their healing and health recovery by 30. And of course, whenever we secure a kill, we gain a little bit more ultimate. Wanted to go a little more in depth about why Vela Blades on the back bar. It's a very good utility alt for group fights because it puts a huge slow. There's a 70% while they're standing in it. It does almost 3,400 per tick, and then it also grants you and your allies major protection. But the other thing that you can utilize this for is if you actually need to disengage from a fight, just make sure you tell people to use the synergy, because it gives you invisibility, it cloaks your whole team. It increases their movement speed by 70%, and look at the heal, 28,000 over 4 seconds. So it's really good to use in the back bar if maybe your team gets caught by a warden and they're using their ult. You drop this down, you slow them up, and you increase everybody else's. And at the very least, even if they get pulled out of invisibility, they have that heal over time that's going to give them the cushion that they need in terms of keeping them topped off with their HP over the next 4 seconds. Very strong. It lasts for 18 seconds. You can fight right in it. I'll link some clips where I got to utilize it for myself and for my team, and you'll see it makes you very tanky and it makes your team very tanky, and it does really good damage. Of course, your main ability coming out of stealth and when you're about to secure a kill is a very good Soul Harvest, and of course we're gaining a lot of ultimate from getting kills, and of course whenever you use a pot you gain another 20 because of the Nightblade passive. So like I said, we're running 1 heavy. You can choose to run heavy or light, it's up to you. I'm running 2 heavy because heavy will give you a little bit more HP recovery, and then 5 light. We're running 6 invigorating and 1 reinforced on the chest, dual wield on the front, Destro on the back. I'm not running a shield, I'm not running a heal. For food, we're running Clockwork because it gives us our health recovery 351, and as well as our max magic recovery by 313. And the reason I chose these sets because they give flat as well as percent increases. So we gain flat bonus recoveries, and of course that pairs really well with Nightblade. I believe it's, here it is, the refreshing increases our recovery again by 15%. So taking a look at the stats, we're at 23 HP, 29.5 Magicka, 10k stam. This health recovery is without a pot. I just basically kept the Nord passive so that you can see with the max stamina. This is what it is now. Next patch, we're losing the health recovery. So in here, I just basically didn't select Fortitude just to reflect that for next patch. For this patch, you can see my health recovery is 2200, so we're going to lose a little bit over 200 in the health recovery, but we're going to gain a little bit more max resistance, which is fine. We'll be sitting like what 25, maybe 23k, 24k, and then just about a little over maybe 21k physical resist. Like I said, I don't run any impen. I don't need it. If you play melee, if you play Nightblade, Magicka Nightblade well, you don't need impen and you don't need a shield. You don't even need a heal, because with this kind of health worker, this is reliable. This isn't like if you're running, you know, like for example, if you're running a resto on your back bar and your regeneration goes down, or you don't have a shield up, you're like, it's 100% reliable. That HP recovery is there. It's there sustained throughout the whole course of fighting. And so I basically utilize my Swallow Soul like a heal, right? So you're roughly going to gain between like 7 and 1,000 every 2 seconds. Every time you light heavy, you'll gain some recovery here, and then of course you'll gain some from structure and entropy. I find it to be more than enough than I need to sustain my HP and to keep myself in the fight. This isn't a gank build. This build has plenty of sustain, but it also has high burst. So coming right out of Cloak, you can see what our spell damage there is just shy of 3,800, and with really, really good recoveries. Like I said, this isn't a burst build, but it does have high burst, and so you can take a look at what your abilities coming out of Cloak would be. You have just shy of 13 harvest and 8k concealed, so for that stun, and we've got really good critical percent. I really like this build. It works really well. It's really strong. Like I said, this is 2 heavy, 5 light, with 1 engine for the health recovery and the Kina for the spell damage. And then of course we're running spell damage on everything, and then dual wield Destro. You can see the skills that we're utilizing here. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I try to put out a build at least every 2 weeks or so, and that's mostly because I really need to play the builds to make sure that they work really well. Like I said, I don't use proc sets, I don't use any cheese abilities, primarily because they really need to be balanced, and I don't like taking advantage of things that are broken, because I really want to know how well I play, and hopefully that matters to you. You want to progress and get better at PvP. Good way to do it is not to rely on things that are broken. So with that said, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I do stream regularly on Twitch at MGTOW Gamer. I post my my schedule at the bottom of my channel. You'll see what game I'm playing, what time, what build I'm using, what character I'm playing, and what I'll be doing in PvP or PvE. I'm mostly a Battlegrounds no CP player, so all of my builds are going to be for Battlegrounds. At Battlegrounds, you need a lot of sustain, but you still want to have really good damage. Like I said, I don't use proc sets. There's some people that do. I find releasing builds like that don't do good to your community, and so I want everybody to get better at playing and PvPing, but on your own terms and by your own ability. No hand holding, right? There's no I don't like any handhold builds. Proc sets are far too strong, and I burst a lot of people that use proc sets. I'll link some gameplay at the end of this. Feel free to check me out and give me a follow. I appreciate it. Take care. God bless. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.
I think that's annoying. There's like a million pets in there. Try to jump all these AoEs down.
You're never gonna make it. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible. It's not probable. Irresponsible. Too many obstacles. You gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow. You can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're trying to make it.
Damn, Magblade.
There's no way that you make it. Yeah, maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that?
Come on, drop. Oh shit. Fuck. gonna mess with it. It's mostly all these pets. It's fucking two bears.
Maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it.
Persistent fucking AoE fears. Enemy stole that kill. How? So many fucking AoEs. This guy's got a proc AoE. Oh god. Look at these fucking procs. Raptor, fucking overwhelming surge. Just 3 damage. Like, get down here, like fucking. Can't see shit with fucking pets. And then proc pets. Fuck you, werewolf. And this shitter up here is spamming line attacks. This is why you can't have 4v4v4s. Because then you get shitters doing that. Where did my heavy attack just go? Did my heavy attack just completely miss? See what they're doing? They're just up here, being shitters. Just lagging as shit. Gotta get out of that bat swarm. I'm just getting pulled out of stealth. By what? I don't know. By what? I do not know. This is why I hate 4s. It's bad game design. It's like whoever engages first just exposes themselves. That's the biggest problem with the 4v4v4s. Whichever team goes in, unless you completely wipe the team instantly, all you do is expose yourself. And so it allows the other team to just kind of sit back and stealth and just wait. And so then what you have is like this waiting game. Is who is going to engage first. And instead of just being, it's not strategic at all. It's like you might as well just wait. Oh, they engage. Oh, okay. Let's ulti dump them. Spin the win. GG. That's what kept happening. We were getting spawn camped every time we would trying to fight them off. We're gonna get camped by the guys from green that were on the pillar in front of us shooting out. And since you don't have comms, because it's random 4v4s, you can't sit there and be like, hey, we're getting hit from these people, to move out of the way, you know, on the fly. I gotta sit there and type that shit out. That's why either like make it 5v5 or something. Or it's just team versus team. Not team versus team versus, oh yeah, there's a hidden team.
That's a good one.
What are we doing? Starting a game that started. Looks like I was the last. At least they're all NCP. It's deathmatch. Purple is what?
Right on.
Fucking slows over here. Full health.
Right on.
God, please. That's exactly what I mean. Get hit in the get hit from the back by green team. Like the purple. Fuck. Fucking scorious.
I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in
Ooh, how do we pull that one in? Jesus. Mag to Oz with the carry. Who's carrying his group? 22. That dude was carrying those other two guys for a minute.
Rolling another
22 and fucking 8.
whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been
Good for
trying
him.
to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million cause that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new